Some neighborhoods in the United States are turning into real ghost towns because people are afraid of ICE deporting them, something that Trump promised, and he's actually carrying it out, as he should. Guys, as always, if you want to learn more about survival, preparedness, realistic, you have the channel with a ton of information. I always suggest you get my books, Surviving the Economic Collapse and Street Survival Skills. 2 books that you will very much need just to get better prepared for what's happening already and what is ahead of us, which is not going to be pretty. So this is interesting because I see a lot of people crying and whining about, oh no, how is it that you're deporting illegal immigrants? And before you comment how heartless I am, I've been an immigrant more than once. I've been that many times in my life. Never had a problem. You know why? Because you do it legally, right? You abide by the rule of law. You have no problem with your status. You have no problem with your neighbors. You're polite. You try to get along, and people react very well to that. But as right now, this is happening in the United States.
Promises kept, with President Trump taking immediate action on his top campaign focus, fighting illegal immigration. From coast to coast, ICE agents going city to city, sometimes door to door, tracking down the nearly 1.5 million undocumented set for deportation. And as ICE closes in on migrants, once vibrant Chicago neighborhoods are now turning into ghost towns. And tonight we are taking you to a neighborhood that has gone silent.
Like I said from day one, no one's off the table.
The Trump administration setting out to execute...
That is key. He says no one's off the table. I mean, anyone that is there illegally is, yeah, sure, they will start with the more violent, dangerous criminals, as they should. I think it makes perfect sense. It's a matter of priorities. You want to deport everyone that is there illegally. I think that's also key to understand. But with the amount of time that you have and with the amount of... with the numbers that you have of so many, millions of people that are there illegally, right? You, of course, get rid of those that are a greater threat. But keep in mind that at any moment, if you're there illegally, you can just get deported, as it should be.
Promised.
We arrested 1,300 people. Over 1,000 of them were criminals.
Immigration and customs enforcement operations reportedly underway in jurisdictions all across the nation. Federal agents have been spotted in many sanctuary cities carrying out these operations.
I hope the sanctuary cities come around.
The usually bustling and vibrant streets of this Hispanic neighborhood in Chicago sit relatively empty because of the concerns over ICE.
Welcome to Mesquite Restaurant, sir.
This little taqueria, like most in the Pilsen neighborhood, is owned and operated by immigrants. The Cruz family, who in 1994 made the long journey from Mexico City to Chicago to grow their little taco stand into a thriving restaurant.
We got tacos, we got breakfast,
Tacos,
chilaquiles.
This American dream is one thousands of migrants are striving for.
I love it when Americans assume that anyone that is Spanish-speaking or from South America, everyone eats tacos. It's fucking Mexican food. It does not apply to everyone south of the planet.
When they cross the southern border. But the drastic shutdown of illegal immigration is a campaign promise the majority of American voters are expecting Donald Trump to make good on.
Yes.
Honest to you, when he come back again, I was like, man, I feel scared.
President Trump, Border Czar Tom Homan, and the highest-ranking members of Immigration and Customs Enforcement say they're only targeting violent criminals during these initial deportations. News Nation has seen what these operations look like. I rode along and conducted...
Yeah, but it's on the initial stages that they're concentrating on the more dangerous people because you don't want those people hurting other people. But eventually, and as it happens, as it goes along, if there's other people that are caught in that, they will also be deported if they're there illegally. And that's the way it should be. Look, as I said before, unlike many of the people crying about this that are not affected in the least and have never gone through this, I've been an immigrant many times. It's been something I went through with my family, with my kids, so I know what this is like. And, you're not worried about your legal status. If you're not breaking the law, if you're there legally, you don't have such concerns. That's the first thing you have to keep in mind, all right? And I hear lots of stories about, but people are self-deporting. Well, maybe you should self-deport if you're there illegally. Do you want to wait until you're thrown into a cell? Look, I'll share a little story with you guys, a little story time here. Many years ago, I was visiting some friends in the United States, And I was still very much living in Argentina and looking at options, right? One of the options I was considering was, United States. But it was rather it is very difficult for those of you that don't know. Legally immigrating into the United States, it's not as easy as a lot of people may think it is. Usually in most other countries, if you have your own form of employment, you don't need anything from anyone. That's usually very highly regarded. In all of the rest of the world, it is usually like that. You say, I make X amount of money. I have X amount of people that depend on me. All right, that's actually very good. Well, congratulations, sir. Welcome in. That is every other country other than the United States. I mean, there may be exceptions, but in every fucking country in this planet, if you can support yourself clearly, especially these days with working online and remote, and or you have the funds. Let's say you're wealthy, you're a wealthy person. Oh, I make a lot of money. Oh, okay, that's nice. Are you a multi-billionaire? No, but maybe I make $1 million because of real estate or this. Okay, that adds up. Yeah, sure, come in. That is how it works everywhere else except in the United States. In the United States, you need one of these H-1B visas, so basically you depend on, and there is something in terms of if you invest, I don't know how many, a couple $1 million is in real estate, there's usually some way, if you're like very, very wealthy, there's usually going to be some visa that applies to you as well, famous athletes or, stuff like that, but most people legally in the United States, they're going to be going with an H-1 visa or a student's visa, which is nowhere near as nice as some people think. It is one of those visas in which you're always depending on the company not firing you. If the company that gave you, that you got the H-1B visa from, doesn't need your services anymore, well, back home you go. And with a family or with a life already built, not really easy. Now, I was in U.S. with these friends of mine, and they were, Fernando, you know what? Everyone comes here illegally. Dude, we'll go pick you up. These are not, I wasn't with my Mexican friends. I was with my American friends. These are, the typical all-American kind of guys that have served, veterans. So it wasn't me and a bunch of Mexican cartel dudes planning anything fishy or anything like that. But we were honestly, we're just drinking Dr. Pepper in Texas, right? Yeah, I've never been much of a drinker myself, but over a few Dr. Peppers, we were having these conversations. I was visiting, like I did so many times. I lived in the United States before, right? Having lived in the United States before, having traveled to the United States before, it was definitely one of those things I was really considering, and it was, dude, we'll just go pick you up in the border. Like, are you crazy? What are you even talking about? They were serious. Great guys, guys I consider still my friends, and I know that even till this day, if they need me, they can pick up a phone, and I'll do everything I can to help them out, and I know it's probably the same the other way around, and they were honestly from the bottom of their heart trying to, dude, everyone is here legally. There's 5 million illegals here. Be one more of them. At least you're not an asshole like so many others. Dude, no, I'm not gonna live illegally anywhere, and not even even in the United States. Even if there's 100 million, I don't care about that. I just don't want to put myself or my family through such a thing. And they were guys that were former military guys, special forces, this and that, and all of the and quite a bit of extensive military service. Fernando, you don't know a damn thing. There's going to be a pardon because there's way too many people and they will get pardoned. And one of them looked at the other one. Yeah. They were both sure that I was this. Now, I'm not going to make stuff up. I mean, I had already published my first book, which, the one that I always recommend here on the channel. I had already published that book. It was doing very, very well. And that's how I got to know them, right? But they were sure that they were right and that I was wrong. They were sure that it was a good idea for me to go illegally with my family into the United States because eventually there was going to be a pardon. Who was right? Of course. No, you don't put yourself through that. Could have there been a pardon? Honestly, analyzing things objectively, why? Why would you give like citizenship to people that have been there illegally, first, it's just objectively not correct, right? But besides that, the point of having people that are there illegally is that they're going to be more on the under economy, they're going to be willing to do more things for less, and they kind of, I'm not going to go with slave labor, but it's kind of a little bit like that. You're like in a position of disadvantage, and you have several million people in a position that you can hire for less, they're going to build stuff for less. It is just more advantageous for a lot of people that want to make a shit ton of money to have people that are willing to do that. It is nothing. It is the oldest thing in the book. It happens in every country. If you go to a bunch of Arab countries where they have, if you go to Singapore, if you're a worker there, if you're with a work visa of some kind, you don't have the same rights as everyone else. In fact, you have very little rights. And that's how it goes, right? But this idea of putting yourself in this position of all of a sudden getting picked up and thrown into a van and dragged to prison and deported, that's really not what you want to do. And I get it. If you have nothing to look forward to in your life, you're in a impoverished Central American country with no options whatsoever, maybe that's what you do. Maybe you're better off risking it being an illegal in the United States than not, right? And there is now the question of a lot of people that are thinking of self-deportation, right? Several articles going around that. Man, I don't know. Honestly, it will depend on yours. I would never have put myself in that position. Do I have more options than the average person? Of course I do. Yeah, sure. I won't deny that. But that was something that, again, these guys that knew what they were, knew their country very well, they were sure it was a good idea. I mean, man, sure, there's so many millions of illegals. That doesn't change a damn thing. You can be one more illegal. But you're breaking the law. You're there illegally. When it comes down to the papers, to the documents, when it comes down to the law, you're there illegally. And that's not going to change no matter who's president, right? And just counting on a pardon that, again, they were sure it was going to happen. I'm not so 100% sure, but if I had to place my bet even then so many years ago, I told them, no, man. I mean, yeah, I get it. That's what you think. I don't see it happening. And I was right. But again, mostly because I see the point of the benefit of not having people being there legally is also quite large. You are working for less. You're less of a... And there's a lot of fantasy that people have in terms of, oh, yeah, they come and see... You know what benefits you have as an illegal... Nothing, dude. You have nothing. Again, I've been an immigrant many times. I've heard this line many times. Oh, but they come... It's usually the people that are there legally and that have the benefit of, oh, yeah, I have my benefits because I'm a fat fuck. I'm overweight. Oh, I just blew my back. Oh, I just have this pinched nerve and I haven't worked in 10 years. Sure, that is all nice and good as long as you're there legally. If you're there illegally, of course, you have nothing to stand on. You cannot make any kind of claim. You will have nothing covering your ass. You're there illegally. And if you're there illegally and you've been hired as a illegal worker as well and you're like, off the books and such, fuck it, you have nothing. So what I'm going for here is, as always, the kind of thing that will piss all of you. Because on one hand, I'm saying that, yeah, I absolutely agree with everyone that is there illegally being kicked out. Oh, no, but I'm not a violent... Well, still illegal. Still breaking the law. You shouldn't have been there in the first place. And I get it when you're getting expelled. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't enjoy seeing people... I don't enjoy people crying in the border that they're not being let through. Yeah, tough luck, man. You were thinking of going right before Trump won, and that was your plan, and now it got shut. Okay, sucks. But I also understand that's not what you should be doing. So, on one hand, I have that position, and on the other one, I fully understand that being illegal anywhere is not the paradise of opportunities. That, sure, if you're a criminal and you're a deranged lunatic running around off the records everywhere, yeah, I guess that makes any sense. But for most people that just want to get by in life, work, make money, have a family, and stay out of trouble, no. It is not some kind of damn paradise or beneficial position to be illegal, let alone in the United States. Anywhere, but especially not in the United States. And these days, in so many other places. So yeah, my advice, if you're in a country illegally, get busy. Find a solution for that. Do you have the option of sorting out your situation? Honestly, I don't know all of the details, but I'm pretty sure that if you're there already illegally, it's going to be very difficult to now start the legal process. Maybe I'm wrong. Again, let me know in the comments. I always like to know anything interesting. But usually you have to leave the country. And if you were there illegally already, and this is something that I actually saw happen to an American person while being in UK. She had overstayed her visa, and she was dating a guy. I think it was an Argentine guy, and I don't remember exactly all the details. She was American, right? Super nice girl. She was dating this. I think it was an Argentine guy. We were in UK at that time, and that by that time I mean still UK was pre-Brexit. So this guy, I think he also had either Italian or Spanish citizenship. Basically, he had dual citizenship, which allowed him to be legally there, and he was working and having a good life and so on. And he was dating this girl, and they were thinking of getting married so as to pass on the citizenship for her. But I think she had overstayed her visa, and again, don't remember all the details, but overstaying your visa is a fucking big deal. You're as a tourist there. You have maybe a month, 2 months. If you're visiting the United States, okay, sir, why are you here? Like traveling on business or just vacations? Oh, yeah, I'm doing a little bit of this. Okay, which one is it, sir? Okay, whatever. All right, how long do you plan on staying? This long. Do you have you're staying with a friend in a hotel? Okay, you explain the situation. Okay, have a good trip, whatnot. There you go. But if you overstay that, you're breaking the law. Then when you leave, and they will let you leave, you're getting on a plane. Oh, God damn it, I stayed a few months. I was having so much fun. Honestly, there's been cases of people that thought, it's not a big deal. I'm not going to stay here legally. I'm leaving next week. But we're going over to whatever place, and I'll leave next week. You overstayed your visa by 1 hour, by 1 day. You're going to be fucked. You're going to go into the books as someone that overstayed his visa, and you probably will never be granted a visa ever again, and good luck getting a work visa there. So it's really complicated for a lot of people. My heart goes out to everyone that finds themselves in this position. Honestly, I don't like anyone having a bad time or suffering, but I also understand there was a bad idea in the first place, okay? See you on the next one, guys. Take care.